Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Box of our hockey special for these first round of the NHL playoffs. I am Mike Aletta, a.k.a. Hammonton Mike, taking you through the first 4 games of our playoff series. And again, the Sports Box where our opinion matters. Okay, let's go to the first game. Let's talk about Ottawa and Montreal. Ottawa, first of all, has won 3 out of the last 4 games against Montreal, which is pretty astounding. And then you got the things with Ottawa to look for. Will the Hamburglar, Andrew Hammond, in goal play the way he's been playing? He single-handedly has carried Ottawa through their series and got them into the playoffs. So we're going to see how he's going to play. Hometown favorite Bobby Ryan from Cherry Hill East High School had a slow start to the season, but has been coming around a little bit. I think he's going to have to be one of the leaders for this team if Ottawa's going to have to move on. And that's what I think Ottawa has to do. With Montreal, it's going to be interesting to see if Max Pacioretty plays tonight. He's been plagued with injuries, things to that effect. I've heard in my reports that he has skated, so that'll be a big lift if Montreal can get him back today. Also, good news, Tom Gilbert is back in the lineup for Montreal. Give them a little extra lift. He's been out 2 weeks with a leg injury, or excuse me, a lower body injury. And then my big question, is the price right? Carey Price. Here's a guy who's had a phenomenal season, up for the Vezina Trophy. He's the best goaltender again. Can he carry Montreal back to where they belong? In some seasons, he's faltered in the first and second rounds. But in the overall picture, I think they beat Ottawa in this series. I just think there's too much firepower on Montreal. Even though Andrew Hammond is playing well for Ottawa, Hammond and Price matchup, I just think Montreal wins that series going away. The next series, the Islanders against Washington. Very interesting series because you think of the Islanders back in the 70s and 80s, you think, terrible team, the Islanders. And they have been bad in the 90s and the 2000s for trades and things of that effect. But you know what? 2015, folks, not anymore. The Islanders are something to be reckoned with. With John Tavares really coming around, John Boychuk, Strom. I mean, they are loaded offensively. This is a team that really, I think, can do some damage, even though they're young to the playoffs. With Yaroslav Halak in goal, they finally have a goaltender in there with some stability that can really carry a game for them or two. Then you look at Washington, and you look at the same story with Ovechkin. Leader in goals, tears it up. Will he carry this team, or is he going to crawl again? Ovechkin has the distinction of disappearing in the playoffs some year. Not that it's all his fault, but the goal scorer that he is and the veteran that he is, this team should be going further than they should be. And that's going to be up to Brandon Holtby tonight, too, as well. I think Brandon Holtby is still a young goaltender, but is experienced enough to have that little bit of edge on his side to get this team as far as they want to do. Hey, look, it's got to come down to Washington scoring. Can't win games 1-0 and your goaltender shuts out everybody. You can't do that. You can't win games without scoring goals. In Washington, John Beagle and Eric Fuhr, after recent injuries for last week, they are back in the lineup. Gives them a little bit of jump, hopefully. But in this series, again, I just think the Islanders are too loaded, too talented. You're looking at Halak against Holtby tonight. The interesting stat about the 2 goaltenders tonight is when they both played Washington and the Islanders, either goalie has never played each other, but in their games, they're both 2-0 against these teams, which is going to be interesting tonight. So I give the nod to the Islanders. Then you go to Chicago and Nashville. I think this is going to be the series to watch in the All-Stanley Cup playoffs. Chicago is won 3 out of 4 against the Nashville Predators. Predators coming off a great season. President's Cup contenders for the best trophy in the league, for the best record in the league. Chicago does get a shot in the arm tonight, though, because Patrick Kane makes his return in the first round of the playoffs, which, coming off that broken clavicle, is going to be a real big jump start to Chicago tonight. And what the one thing I can't understand, though, about Chicago is Vermette and Desjardins were acquired before the deadline. To get a little spark for his team, some big bodies in here, and they're not going to play tomorrow night for reasons undisclosed to me. They're going to be scratched, and they're going to put some other players in just for defensive reasons. But hey, Quenneville is the man, and Chicago is the team to be reckoned with. So that's the line with that. When it comes to Nashville, you look at Shea Weber coming back off an injury, and Roman Josi going to be back in the lineup tonight too as well. Weber, fastest shot in the league, stud defenseman, really going to get him stability back there. They also get Mike Fisher and Cody Franson back off of injuries as well. James Neal's got to step it up, though. He's going to be a guy that you look for tonight to be one of the players to really step up for the Predators and really make a difference tonight. And I think they can. When you look at the goaltending matchup, Corey Crawford having one of his better seasons as always. Pecorine hurt at the beginning of the year, but really has come on to be a good goaltender again. You know, a lot of people have fought me on this, but I really think the Predators have a shot at winning this in 7 games. You know, will they? We'll soon see. Everything's got to go right for them. Pecorine's got to be on his game, and they really have to play well. But I think the Predators can pull it off. I'm going to say the Predators in 7. And the last game of this playoff matchup is going to be Calgary against Vancouver. Calgary, unbelievable how they got in the playoffs. Never supposed to be here. You know, Vancouver, another team that started off strong, dipped down a little bit, got into the playoffs a little late, came on a little bit strong at the end of the year. You're looking at Calgary with Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, another local kid from Penns Grove area. His dad runs the league up in Hollydale. Phenomenal year. 24 goals, up for a couple trophies. Really, I wouldn't say carried Calgary himself, but really is one of the main focal points of that team. You know, Huey Hudler, another guy, had a great year for Calgary. Calgary is a unit. It's funny. It's not really one or two guys per se on that team. They've really played as a unit this year. When the times are down, they've really won games where specifically they weren't supposed to win, and they've won games to move on. So, you know, kudos to them. And with the Vancouver, it's funny because they don't know who's starting in goal tonight. It's either going to be Eddie Lack or Ryan Miller. My own opinion, you brought Ryan Miller in to be the man, even though he did get hurt on Saturday. He sprained his ankle in a game. He was pulled out, but he has played since. I think you got to go with experience, even though Eddie Lack has played very well this year for a second-year player. You got to go with the experience. You got to go with Ryan Miller. I think this is the reason you brought him here. This is the reason to get over the edge with him. I think it's a no-brainer. You got to start him tonight. The Sundin twins, you know, need I say more? They're just, you got to keep an eye on them if you're Calgary tonight. They're going to be through the lights, up and down. You know, what can you say about the Sundins? It's an amazing story with them, how they were drafted together, how they've been playing together, how they score together. It's just amazing, and that will help Vancouver out a lot. Spiza will be back on the lineup tonight for Vancouver, which is a nice addition for them again, along with Horvat. So those are two guys that I think that they're going to stand out tonight and play well. When it comes to the goalie matchup at the end, you got Carey Ramo for Calgary against, like I said, Ryan Miller, but it's to be determined. I just think in a grand scheme of things, Calgary is kind of run out its spot. I think Vancouver wins this series. Maybe not going away, maybe in 6, maybe even in 7, but I think Vancouver does pull it off just because of the experience, the veteran leadership that they have, and I just think they're a little bit of a better team. Let's go quick to the mailbag. We got 2 questions in here for this hockey edition for us. We got Rich from Hammonton. Will the Flyers fire Craig Berube? You know what? I thought in the beginning, probably about a couple days ago, I thought they would fire Craig Berube, but the reports I'm hearing now is Hextall, the GM of the Flyers, is thinking about keeping Craig Berube, which for reasons I do not know why. It seems like the players want Berube out, and they see that he's a bad coach, so maybe it's just because Hextall has ties with Berube's. I really hope not, because I think Hextall's a good GM and can take this team where they need to be in the next couple years. It probably won't be soon, though. Steve from Mays Landing writes in, will there be an all-New York Eastern Conference final? You know what? Just like baseball, I think there could be a Subway Series. I think the Islanders and Rangers could get the conference final. It's going to depend on the Rangers. Rangers look good. Rangers are solid. Rangers, by all accounts, should go to the finals. But we will see. It's going to be very interesting. That wraps it up for the Sports Box for this hockey edition of playoff game number 1, or playoff series number 1. We will have playoff game number 2 posted very, very soon. Tune back for that. Any questions, concerns, you want to tell me how the show is doing, you want to give me an opinion, that's fine. Mike M. Galetta at Comcast.net is where to write. Please like my page. Please subscribe to this edition. You'll like it. Sports Box, thank you very much. We're out of here.